Welcome to 20 Minutes on DawnNews English. This is Nadia Naqi with you, and with me is the former Advocate General Islamabad, Mr. Jehangir Jadoon. Thank you so much for joining us. As expected, former Prime Minister and Chairman PTI Imran Khan was not presented in the special court today, as were the notices served by the judge of the Official Secret Act court. I don't know what special court this is, but this is how it has been, termed as the Official Secret Act Special Court at the Judicial Complex, after the Islamabad High Court had, accepted the plea of Imran Khan's counsel that the jail trial should be finished and it should be an open court. Were you also expecting that Imran Khan and Shah Mahmood Qureshi would never be presented in the court?
I expect they must be presented before the court and they must comply with the order of especially when Islamabad High Court set aside the order previously they have got from the government of Pakistan. Actually, I would like to take you to a few months back or a few weeks back. The first thing was the procedure they adopted was not correct procedure how to conduct the jail trial. You have to differentiate between a jail trial and in-camera trial. Okay. Because the trial is the word open court is under section 352 of the CRPC. There should be an open court, meaning thereby people have to assess to see what's happening in the court. Again, this section provides some power under proviso. Judge may exclude some people out of the court, but he has to record the reason for ousting the media or the particular person from the court. Otherwise, under law, it must be an open.
And just, I'm so sorry to interrupt you over here, Mr. Jehangir Jadoon. When you say open court, it means that the proceedings of the court can be covered by the media, and that is why it is called an open court.
Media is not mentioned, but they may be assessed to general public, and media is also included in general public, because you must make sure the transparency of the trial, and especially when it is after 18th Amendment. Article 10A in the Constitution was inserted, and we are more conscious, we are most careful, because now it is your fundamental right for a fair trial under the Constitution. Now what happening? You see, I'll just explain what is a jail trial and what is in-camera trial. A jail trial doesn't mean that this is a closed trial. Jail trial means that judge wants to shift the courthouse from one place to another. Either judge can write the government, these are the reason I wants to conduct the hearing in jail, but it must be an open trial. Everybody or the general public or the person who can be accommodated in the court can go and watch the proceeding of the trial. It will be a jail trial, but this is an open trial. When you exclude the person from the open court and you make as an in-camera trial, no media person is allowed, no other person is allowed except the lawyers of the petitioner or the respondent, prosecutor, then it is in-camera trial. And when the judge, the presiding officer, wants to conduct in-camera trial, he has give the reason, and he has to write to the government of Pakistan, I want to conduct this in-camera trial and due to the following reason, right? And they have to satisfy the prosecution and the petitioner or the defense why they want to in-camera proceeding. Now in this case,
who decides that a particular case has to be conducted in a jail? The court proceedings have to be conducted in a jail. Is this the discretion of the judge or someone else?
No, it is not the discretion, but the initiative has to be taken by the judge, or judge tomorrow say I will conduct a trial, but it might be video link from the jail, because reason is mainly in this case they quote the reason for security reason. One thing I think is also wrong on the part of PTI, at least when the judge of the Islamabad High Court set aside a cipher trial, it was not according to the law procedure, and the other trial judge made an order that you must produce Mr. Khan on 28th in the court, and they immediately said, oh, it will be a big welcome for Mr. Khan, it will big proceeding, and I think they scared the government. Our government is already, scared from law enforcement. God forbid if something happened to Mr. Imran Khan, as you know, in the Wazirabad incident, then the entire responsibility will be on the court, because if the court intentionally want to summon him, and the law enforcement agencies who was looking after the law and order situation, if they made a report, there is a live threat to Mr. Imran Khan as per their party claim, as per their other intelligence report, because you, me, and other person cannot assess the threat. It is the sole prerogative of the police and the IB, the other intelligence, who make opinion regarding the threat, right? If they write to the judge, there is a threat, we cannot bring him out of the jail, whatever the intention, they might be, as you see, the good intention or the bad intention, but if they give report to the judge, okay, we cannot produce him in the open, under this court, and then the government want to shift the courthouse from one place to another, then they must ensure there will be an open trial and fair trial. That's the two situations, open and fair. And they can be conducted in jail, no problem.
Okay, but then how is there you see today's decision when the judge said that all he's worried about is an open trial, whether it is going to be at the judicial complex or it is going to be conducted within the jail in Adiala. That's what matters. That's an open trial, and he's going to allow a certain amount of people from the family and from the media and other sections. So I'm just thinking loud, because up till now what we have seen is that nobody other than the family is allowed to meet or witness the trial, right? So in this scenario, the number of people who can actually come within the premise of the jail will also matter, because you see, if let's suppose, who's going to choose this, and how many people from the media are allowed to come or general public are allowed to come? It's going to be the judge or the superintendent of the jail. Who will decide?
No, it's when you curtail somebody and when you allow somebody in the court, it is the judge decision, is the not only judge, but is the person who is presiding officer of the court who is trying, or the trial judge who is conducting the trial, Mr. Imran Khan. Nobody else. He can ask the superintendent of judge, allow me a good space where the lawyers of the petitioner, the lawyer of the defendant and the prosecution and other people, let's say 20 people, 5 from media, 5 lawyers, 10 people from general public, or whatever they can make. You see, there is an arrangement, because when there was in NAB court, the space is very limited. It's just a room. You can accommodate about 20 to 25 people, and some people are standing there, some are sitting there. Media people always stand there, they right there. You see the observation, the reporting. But it is a judge who will decide how many persons should be allowed in the court.
Okay, now coming to the cipher case, I clearly remember when Chairman Imran Khan was in Attak jail, and they were, his counsels had been saying that, he should be shifted to Adiala. You had said that everything will move very fast once he's shifted to Adiala. Do you recall that? Do you see that happening now?
Yes, but still, you see, they might try to conclude the trial as quickly as they could, but the defense has always option to, even they might open this, they might challenge this sort of thing, how you can, shifting your courthouse from an ordinary court to Adiala jail. Why? What are the reason? Give us the reason. If the state cannot bring a person before the court, then how you can send it is security and protection is the responsibility of the state. It is the state who is responsible for the protection of person. If the state cannot, even just on the sideline, I would like to mention, even Election Commission of Pakistan and order the district administration to bring Imran Khan to Election Commission, but I think they refused. They are unable to produce him in Election Commission of Pakistan. Now Election Commission is a constitutional body. How they can travel to the jail and conduct the trial in the jail? I think there is a 50% also responsibility of the PTI. They make sure, if they conduct a huge proceeding, before time they will allow, okay, we will do that, we will do 100 personnel coming with this side. Then they are themselves jeopardizing the trial, in the judicial complex, and they are, I think, about 40%, they are responsible to conduct the trial in jail. If they should say, we will be very peaceful, we will not bring the procession.
They had already in their core committee decided that no one will go welcoming their chairman, because they don't want any sort of...
They should be. What I propose, they should.
But let's compare there. Do you recall that when Imran Khan was in government, and in his initial day, when Maryam Nawaz from PMLN used to, go for court proceedings, and other people, they also had their supporters around.
Yeah, that's right.
All the time.
Political people
I
are
really remember. Every political leader has it. Okay. So, and these days, thrice former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif is also making appearances in the court. One does then question the intention that what is it with Imran Khan? A glimpse of him is probably
actually
something not allowed.
It's always you see establishment who decide how to handle the situation, and if they put some pressure on one politician, they always manage things how to do that. And if they don't want to do that, they might come with a proposal, okay, will do this like and this that. It will always liking and disliking by somebody in the corner, which matter a lot, and the power which matter a lot. But the actual thing is, whenever somebody is a politician, is facing a trial, the trial must be fair. Must be with courts. If the trial court, let's say, convict Mr. Imran Khan, he is open to the High Court, he is open to the Supreme Court, and I think he must get open trial. In recent, cipher trial in Islamabad High Court set aside the decision. Somebody was, they might suspicion, they might not be expecting the same judgment, but they give the judgment on merit. The cipher trial which was conducted in the jail was not proper procedure was adopted by the government, because it is a judge who decides, it is a judge who write to the government, these are the situation, I want to shift courthouse. If there's a security issue, let's say, I think they might challenge this again in the Islamabad High Court. If we are facing trouble in the jail, the jail is not open place. Superintendent of jail is posing or putting some restriction on the people to travel to a jail. These are the factual things which come when the actual trial will start. How the jail superintendent, what is the role of jail superintendent, what is the role of the district administration, and what is the which is the lawful role of the court, because it is the court who decide what to do and what not to do.
Okay, now let's come to the case, the cipher case in itself. First, I need to know, because you must have heard the remarks of one of the judges there, in these cases, and I'm talking about previous weeks, that, the charges against Shah Mahmood and Imran Khan are such that one has to really think before giving them a bail. Is that the case? Is bail not so easy on such charges?
Actually, the law of bail is when somebody, not Imran Khan or particularly somebody else has committed. The law of the bail is discretion of the court. Now, how the court will exercise discretion depends upon the facts and circumstances of each case. 302 is a murder charge of the PPC, and I think in the daily, a lot of people get bail from Supreme Court of Pakistan in murder charges, because they have to look into the charges. They'll have to look into the probability of the evidence and the substance before the court. Now, if they convince the court, these are the material, which is, show that the accused is no further required for any investigation, and accused is no more required for anything else, and his personal liberty is curtailed, and so many things, other his fundamental rights are violated, might the Supreme Court give him a bail in cyber case?
And if he's convicted, then how much of a punishment does he face?
Still, it's a tricky cipher case, because you have to put into the space case. He has shared some as a result of the secret information. Some state has suffered loss. What loss state has suffered? They have to the prosecution have to prove that certain losses. If somebody have attacked an installation, somebody have danger international relation, and somebody how is affected the relation with the state. Actual substantial question before the court will be how the cipher. If he show the cipher to the public, okay, they have shown the public, okay, I will play with the cipher, and what actually did and how he concealed the thing, because cipher, they raised the point in initial stage at the bail another day in Supreme Court case that cipher case was, cipher was opened and it was also discussed in the national security meeting. Now it's depend, totally on the prosecution how they can prove their case behind any reasonable doubts, and what there are 3 slabs of the punishment, starting from 2 years up to the life imprisonment and the death penalty, and they have to bring into the slabs of section 5 A, B, C. And the section, A, B, C, these are 3 slabs with the minimum punishment 2 years, maximum is the death penalty, and 14 years and the life imprisonment. Let's see how the prosecution can prove their case beyond reasonable doubt, what loss the state has suffered by this cipher publication, and who publicated and who's communicated secretly.
So once this case concludes over here in this special court, whatever the decision, it can be challenged in the High Court, and whatever the decision there can be challenged in the Supreme Court, right? Before final punishment,
Yes, sure, yes.
if there is a punishment, be awarded to those who have been charged for it.
Yeah, obviously, because the punishment, if you give somebody from a trial court, he has the right of appeal to the High Court and a second right of appeal, leave to appeal to the Supreme Court. You know, Mr. Nawaz Sharif was convicted for life imprisonment in Tiara hijacking case, but finally he was acquitted. You see, the politician go for punishment for 2 to 3 or 5, maximum of 4 or 5 years, not for life.
The trial courts have been very amazing, Mr. Jadoon. All the trial courts have given this punishment.
They try to put maximum. At least they can stay for 2 to 3, 4 years in the jail.
Because you did mention the establishment. Is it correct to say, if not now, then at least previously in the past, that the trial courts were managed by the establishment?
Because you see, when it is not me and you to decide, but you see the defense side has. If they have the apprehension what's going on with the trial, they definitely raise a point on the government, because the face is the government, not the establishment. Because in paper you have police, in paper you have the prosecution, not the establishment. The establishment directly is not anywhere in the law. They are conducting something, right? If on the back of it, on the back face, you have the face, and if somebody is back, then you cannot, you see, factually or legally established in the court somebody is behind that. But actually this is the prosecution. If you are a weak case, you might sentence somebody, not only Imran Khan or anybody else. If you can sentence him, because a lot of people you see in the jails, they finally acquitted from Supreme Court of Pakistan, some have acquitted from High Court of Pakistan. They may add false cases, but trial court normally you see give punishment to the people to stay in the jail for some time.
In your legal profession, do you remember anyone of this stature not brought into a public space after being put behind the bars, as Imran Khan is? Because since the time he's behind the bars, it seems that, you know, there is, I don't know whether bad intention or good intention, but it looks like he's probably the one who faces the maximum security risk and security threats, that despite the fact the judge has asked and served notice, jail superintendents shy away, saying that, you know, he has like really high security risk, cannot be brought into any of the courts.
Because the reason is nobody want to take a risk. Suppose if the court want to take a risk, court make another order and say no, under any circumstances you have to bring the accused, then all the responsibility from the administration will be shifted to the court. If God forbid something happened on the evening, on the day when he's brought from Adiala to Islamabad, in the way, because I just mentioned the Wazirabad incident, then the entire responsibility rests with the court, with the presiding officer. They might think that we have told you these are the reason, and that become true. Then it's
but these whatever the reports by the intelligence on the security risk that he is having, shouldn't it be shared with his councils also?
You know, the council also, because they've already expressed themselves. PTI also number of made an implication. Mr. Imran Khan has a lot of security threats, because they admit this thing. And the base of this is the PTI itself, because I've told you, when they say we will put the procession and you see everything, you see a lot of police vehicles were burned, there was stones and a lot of things, you see. The last, when he came to G11 complex, the gate was broken, a lot of law and order, and the police, I think, might be unable to control if something happen again. These are the security risks in which they won't take responsibility.
All right. Last question is that now that the premise of the court has, gone back to Adiala, do you, in all these circumstances, especially after the Islamabad High Court had set aside the previous proceedings, are you expecting a fair trial? Because you've also seen in your legal profession what happens to politicians in Pakistan.
I think because if there leave some lacuna in a prosecution case, ultimately the beneficiary will be the accused. Because any doubt, whether it's a small, it's a minor, it's a lot, if created in the prosecution story, the benefit will go to the accused. If they again not conducting any fair trial, the benefit will go to Imran Khan. The beneficiary of the, any prosecution lacuna, any bad prosecution, the poor prosecution, any charge which are not, framed properly or which is not proved properly 100%, and behind invisible doubt, the beneficiary will be the accused, and I think Imran Khan will definitely get the benefit of any loophole in the prosecution.
And prime ministers in our country, according to law, can they declassify a document? Are they allowed to by the law?
I think they cannot, because it is the responsibility of one of the question. I think I think they have raised how the Interior Ministry initiated this complaint, because the matter was the Foreign Ministry, and Foreign Ministry is not in the loop. But I've told you, if there is any lacuna, if there is any technical thing whether Prime Minister can declassify or not, or who is the person. Because the principal secretary, the court also raised a question, very serious question on this. If the principal secretary was accused, how he was shifted to a witness. You see, this all thing, he might get a lot of benefit in the case if finally they are not able to prove the case beyond invisible doubt.
Oh, thank you so much for being with us. The last comment is very interesting, and I think as the case now, the proceedings begin, let's see what questions come up. And as you say, that any sort of lacunas in the prosecution will benefit none but Imran Khan. Thank you so much, Mr. Jehangir Jadoon, for being with us on 20 Minutes. That's all for now. Take care and goodbye.
Thank you.